Welcome back to my farm. Now, the first thing we're going to do today is actually clean up the crap that the calves make, and for this I'm going to use my little international tractor because I told Pennsylvania Plowboy that I would, so that he could see it. I'm trying to read what model number this tractor is so that I can tell him. No, I have to lift up the arms before I can see the model number, I'm sorry, but we can do that. We'll just lift the arms for a second and hopefully I can see the model number then. Oh yes, there we go, it's an 894. Just saw it there. Yep. Oh, 684, sorry. So, Pennsylvania Plowboy, in case you're wondering, this is an International 684. It actually looks very, very similar to some of the tractors you're using on your videos, except for the inclusion of the cabin. And funny enough, I thought I'd talk about that cabin there first, because the description for this mod says it's a Sukura cabin, Sakura. I thought that was a wee bit odd because my David Brown tractor also has a Sukura cabin on it, and not only that, because both those mods are made by the same modder, so that in itself doesn't really mean a lot, but if you get the Generation 1 or the Gen 1 of the Ford 10 Series tractor in this game, that one also has an option of whether you want the normal Ford 10 Series cabin or whether you want a Sukura cabin. Now, I'm well aware that International, which this tractor is of course, David Brown and Ford are all owned by the same company now, which is the CNH group, but in the days that these tractors were made, they certainly weren't all made by the same company, so I thought that it was odd that they all had options of a Sukura cabin. So I did a bit of Google research, and it turns out that Sukura is a company that makes cabins for agricultural machinery. It's not just tractors, but some other agricultural machinery as well. So I thought, well, that's interesting. I'd never heard anyone else on any farming sim game mention that, so I thought I'd mention it because it reminded me a lot of the fact that back in the 1920s, if you ordered a car from one of the more upmarket car manufacturers, let's say you were going to buy a Rolls Royce, a Bentley or a Duesenberg for an example, often when you bought the car you'd specify the chassis length you'd want because there'd be a couple of different options there, but when you went to pick up your car, all it would be is a chassis, a motor, all the suspension and things, and it would have a steering wheel coming out of the steering box and a wooden crate for you to sit on. There'd be no body shell whatsoever and no interior whatsoever. You'd get a wooden crate for the driver to sit on, and you might get part of the dashboard just where the steering column is, and you'd then take the car to a coach builder's and you'd get whatever kind of body you wanted put on it, built for you. Obviously, if for example you were going to buy, so let's say you wanted to buy a Bentley and you were going to go racing at Le Mans on it, then you'd get the shortest chassis available, and that's the chassis you'd go and you get it bodied up with one of the Le Mans style bodies. If on the other hand you wanted more of like a limousine type car, well, in those days it was common that the driver would sit out in the open with no roof above them with a leather seat because it would be waterproof then if it got wet, while the passengers in the back sat on cloth seats and the back area would have a roof over it. And I even find that kind of strange, to tell the truth, simply because nowadays generally the more expensive car will have the leather interior, and that's considered a real bonus, and just drop that. Cloth interiors really nothing to write home about, whereas back in those days the backseat passenger, who was the person that actually mattered and had a roof over their head and things, had a cloth seat, while the driver up the front, who didn't really matter at all, he just answers the name Jeeves and wear a funny looking cap, he would have a leather seat to sit on. So that's kind of reversed a wee bit. Why is this stuff not coming off my shovel now? Is that because I dropped the shovel? It probably is. Oh, there we go, here we go. Now it's coming. Oh, I didn't want that close to the cow pen, so we might pick it up again and try and drop it over here a bit further. So yes, so when I read about this Sukura cabins, it kind of reminded me of these cars from the 30s where a coach builder would build the body. So I found that very interesting, and PA Plowboy, you can perhaps fill me in on whether this international tractor is pretty much the same as one of yours, except for the inclusion of the cabin. Oh, okay, I'm going to have to dump it here because it doesn't want to dump anywhere else. For some reason, normally I can dump it a lot further away from the car figures than that. And I believe Pennsylvania Plowboy, that when I said that I have an international tractor and that I'd put it in my next video so you could see it, I think I said that it was 70 horsepower, and I apologise for that. It turns out it's 60 horsepower. I had remembered it wrong. So yeah, this tractor is 60 horsepower, so it does get used for a few things around the farm, but not too many. But this is one of the jobs I definitely do use it for. This one and the David Brown tractor that I've got, which is also 60 horsepower, are the only tractors I've got on this farm that have the front loader arms and things. Oh, this is going to be a problem now, isn't it? Trying to pick up that crap there. Yes, I thought it was going to be a problem, and sure enough it is a problem. Okay, never mind, we will get there. We'll get there in the end. It just takes a bit longer. That's all. Let's see if I can pick it up with this, and then try dumping it again. Oh, come on. Okay, so yeah, I hope you all found that conversation about the Sukura cabins interesting, because I certainly found it interesting when I googled it and found this information out. Come on. Aha. Now it's dumped okay. With my tractor can actually get to it. So that's all good. Yeah, I had another bit of exciting news to share with you as well, and then we'll go and start on the carrots, harvesting the carrots. Well, I started it the other day just to check that it was going, because I've only ever harvested carrots once in this game before, and I wasn't 100% certain I remembered correctly how to do it, so I did a couple of those last night to check that it was going to work properly before I recorded this video. And that's pretty amazing. I actually thought to actually check something before I decided to put it on video to make sure it was going to work. I did. So my piece of exciting news. So here in New Zealand, as I record this, it's Friday evening. It's, oh, I don't know what time it is actually. About 4:30 Friday evening, I think it is. Might be just before then. It might be like 20 past 4 or something. So this Sunday, this coming Sunday, my son, who turns 20 in a week and a half's time, is getting baptised. Now, I'm really, really over the moon that he's made that choice for himself, and it's quite good because he's made that choice for himself. I've talked to him about baptism before, and I've encouraged him to do it, but I've never put any pressure on him whatsoever. So the fact that he's decided that he's now ready to be baptised, and he's going to do it this Sunday, I'm absolutely over the moon about that. As I'm sure if any of you that are listening that are Christians, and I know that at least a couple of you are, would understand my excitement, and that he's decided to make that step for himself. So, oh, that wouldn't be good in real life. That would probably put a hole in the side of the fuel bowser there. Fuel bowser I think is pretty close to empty now anyways, but don't really want to have to pay to replace it. So just dump this bucket here and put the barrel forks back on before I put this international away. There we go. So, PA Plowboy, I hope you like my international tractor there, and yeah, I look forward to hearing whether it is in fact quite similar to any of yours, except with the cabin on it, and yours don't appear to have cabins, as far as I can tell from your videos. I must admit I haven't watched all of your videos yet, but I am playing catch up, and I will get them all watched. Okay. Now, we'll jump out of there. I might jump in the old landy here to go around to where we're doing the carrot harvesting. Might be quicker than taking the trike, the Honda trike. Oh, just ran over my dog. Not that that really matters. Okay, so haven't got far to go to get to where my carrot harvest is happening. So we're going to take us a moment. It's over behind AK and Fury Machine Gaming's houses. So this one here is Fury Machine Gaming's house. This one here is AK's house. And so one paddock's beside their houses, the other one's behind it. Just park there. Okay, jump out of there. Now, I did mention in my last video that I was going to buy this FiatAgri 180/90 tractor. I've actually decided to rent it instead. Two reasons. First of all, I only had $20,000 left on my overdraft, so I thought actually I'd like to get that paid off, and then I will start taking more money out on it again and taking another overdraft after I get it paid off. And the second reason is that I haven't had a chance to check out what the power I need for seeders and things. I know that for this one here, now this potato harvester here, it says it needs 160 horse. 170 horse, sorry, it says it needs to run it. Now this tractor that I'm running right now is 180 horse, but one of the mods that I'm running is the REA wheels mod, and that's the mod that allows tractors to get stuck in the fields and the wheels to dig in and sink in and things. So I absolutely love that mod, but one of the probably unintended side effects of that mod is that everything needs about 20 more horsepower than it says it does. So if a piece of equipment tells you it needs 170 horses, then it probably actually needs 190 rather than 170. So this tractor here is 180 horse, and it tells me it needs 170 for this piece of equipment. So that's why this tractor is struggling a wee bit up the hill here, because it's not really quite, it's still about 10 horsepower short of what it really should be for this piece of equipment, given that I'm using the REA wheels mod. Now, I did want to kind of, you can see the edges of this paddock where I didn't plant anything, and that's because even when I was planting carrots, I already knew that this is the piece of equipment I wanted to use to harvest it, and I wanted to have a play with this piece of equipment, and that's why I left some edges, because I knew that this was a big piece of equipment and it was going to take a lot of space around the edges there. Now I shall just the one thing that is difficult with this, and I didn't realise that when I looked at this piece of equipment in the shop, is that the wheels on this harvester turn as you turn the steering on the tractor, and it does make it very, very difficult. It's easy to get stuck in the hedges and things if you get too close to them. So, and there doesn't seem to be a way to lock the steering on the harvester so that it doesn't steer on the harvester there. Now, the other thing I noticed with this harvester from playing around with it is it is meant to be a single row harvester, and as you can see I'm doing a single row of carrots right now. If you put the harvesting bit, that bit right there, exactly halfway between the two rows, you can actually do 2 rows at a time. It will pick up 2 at a time. However, as soon as it gets slightly off centre, it will go to just picking up 1. And I discovered when trying to pick up 2 rows at a time, you end up missing so many bits and having to reverse up to grab it again, and I was just getting really annoyed by it reversing all the time. So I decided, no, stuff that, I will just pick up a single row that the equipment is intended to work for. Well, it doesn't mean it'll take me twice as long to do these carrots, and that's why I've turned my time down to 0.5. I normally play it on 2 times the time, but with so many carrots to do, because I've got this paddock and the next one beside it as well, although admittedly I don't have to get them all done today. I've got a couple of months to do them, and every month is 2 days, so I could take about 4 days to get all the carrots done, but I'd like to get at least this paddock done today if I can, and only doing them single row at a time, it's going to take me all of that time. Now, I'm quite fortunate, this tractor, when you, and same with the harvester, if you accidentally run over the carrots slightly, it doesn't kill them. Some crops it does. Although in FS22, it seems that if a crop is growing and you drive over it, you kill it where the tyre tracks were, but if it's already fully grown, ready to harvest, it doesn't appear that it does kill it then if you drive over it. And certainly these carrots don't seem to be dying if I accidentally hit the edge of them with my tractor or something, which is just as well because it's so hard to do. Yeah, I did mention that I decided to rent this tractor instead of buying it for the time being. What I want to do is, I don't know, I've got these 2 paddocks I do in crops, and I don't know whether I'm going to do carrots or vegetables again, like carrots, beetroot, parsnip, etc., or whether I'm going to try something else next. Now, I don't know what horsepower other seeders and things are wanting, so I'm going to check that out later. And if I'm going to need 100, well, I mean, because when I started this map, my intention was to only use tractors from the small tractor category, which all my tractors are. This one's not. This one here, though, is from the medium tractor category. So I'm okay with buying a tractor for doing these 2 crop fields with, if I need to, even though it wouldn't make financial sense to buy a whole big tractor just to do 2 crop fields. But really, this tractor is right on the limit of what fits around the farm tracks and the gateways and things of this farm easily. So even though it's only considered a medium tractor at 180 horsepower, it really is right on the limit of what is comfortable around this farm. So once I've checked out what the other seeders and things need in terms of number of horsepower, if they need more than my other tractors have, which is a maximum of 105, is my biggest one, not counting this tractor that I've rented here, but if 180 would do the trick, then I will buy this tractor, but for right now it's just rented. So we might see this one join farm. I must admit, I've always liked these FiatAgri tractors, the 80 series and 90 series. Very few mods of the 80 series available on Farming Simulator, though it's almost always the 90 series, and that's okay. The main difference, as far as I can tell, bearing in mind I'm not a farmer, is the 80 series is orange, like that one that just went past us. The 90 series is this terracotta colour instead. But otherwise, as far as I can tell, the 80 series and 90 series look pretty much the same. Oh, and here's an example of what I was talking about before. I've got my my harvester caught on that stone fence because as soon as you get too close to it, because it's got turning wheels on the harvester trailer as well, it tries to turn into the fence when you don't want it to. So you've got to back up and free it up like that. And if it's a hedge rather than a stone fence like that, then invariably you end up getting it caught on the hedge and having to reset it, in which case you lose all the crop that's in it. Either that, or you make sure you save the game periodically as you go and just quit the game and reload it to the last save point if you get it stuck in the hedge. That's just the way I find it easiest, in fact. But so this is us harvesting carrots a single row at a time, and as I said, we've got 2 to do. I want to fill it up. Oh look, we're at 100% now. No box available to fill, and I wanted to do this so that I could actually show you how this works. So we'll just back this up here somewhere, get it out of the way a bit. Turn it off and lift that. So, I'm not familiar enough with this. It's probably Y to unload, but I'm not really that familiar, so let's just double check. We're bringing up the menu. Oh no, Z to unload. So, okay. I'm probably a bit close to the corner right now. Just pull it up a bit more. Here we go, Z. And this one fills 4 boxes at a time. There's another one that fills a single box, but I figured that it would take far too long to fill it to do when you're only filling a single box at a time. There you can see I've got 4 wooden boxes of carrots now. So I need to change it back to operator. No, maybe I do, I'm not sure. No, lifting harvester, fold. Oh, lift platform, yes I do. So now I lift the platform. Now you can buy empty crates, empty boxes, and then manually put them on this, but there's also an option to cheat and go like that. Do you want to buy new boxes? Yes, here they are. So I've now got 4 empty boxes on the harvester ready to go. As I said, you can actually buy empty boxes and manually pick them up with the harvester if you prefer, but for now I just want to get some of this done. Now I'm going to make this video a wee bit shorter than I had planned. It is 22 minutes long now, because that phone call I just missed was my son, and I'm guessing he'll be wanting to be picked up for work because it's absolutely pouring down with rain here at the moment, being winter. So I might finish the video here, say goodbye to you all, and bring my son back and say yes, I'll come and get you from work, no problem whatsoever. So I shall see you all later on. Thanks, bye.